Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
All four of the former Minneapolis police officers involved in the deadly arrest of George Floyd are expected to be in custody by the end of tonight. Minnesota's Attorney General announcing new charges earlier today and the upgraded murder charge against Derek Chauvin, who was seen on video pressing his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes.
Filed an amended complaint that charges former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin with murder in the second degree for the death of George Floyd. I believe the evidence available to us now supports the stronger charge of second-degree murder. We've consulted with each other, and we agree.
Ellison also said prosecuting this case will likely take months.
We also took a small step forward today. We were able to meet with the minds and decision makers in Fargo, and we felt heard, and we've now begun the process of healing and the progress that's going to come forward.
Saturday didn't end the way they wanted, with rioting and looting in downtown Fargo, so organizers of last weekend's march want to try again. They met today with city officials and called it a victory. Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay brings you into the discussion and explains how Friday's march is going to be a celebration.
We're celebrating our victory, and we feel that our voices have been heard. We were able to successfully get the ears and the eyes of our leaders.
In a meeting which lasted nearly 4 hours, city leaders from the FM area met with demonstrators to discuss racial inequalities. Moorhead Mayor Jonathan Judd says this community won't allow people to tear down what they've worked so hard to build up.
There was some really difficult conversations going on in here. It got intense, and as they should.
Organizers with Peaceful March for George Floyd say their mission was to be heard by city leaders, and it was accomplished Wednesday. This prompted them to call Friday's protest a celebration. Mayor Tim Mahoney says it's about making people feel safe in this community. On Saturday, he made an emergency declaration after people were seen vandalizing and looting downtown businesses.
And we're going to have a celebration on Friday. We're going to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate many things. Our diversity, our differences, are things that have called us as well together.
Organizers say this is only the first step of a long journey to equality, but are pleased with Wednesday's progress. In Fargo, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
Fargo's police chief and school superintendent were also at today's meeting. The group plans to post more details about the event on Facebook. 5 more rioters from last weekend have been arrested, and at least 3 are from Fargo. One of them is Chelsea Eggers. She's 27 years of age, from Fargo, and was arrested for arming a rioter. Also arrested Andrew Uglum, 26, of Fargo, arming a rioter and criminal mischief. And Tyasenj Santi, 24, of Fargo, arming a rioter and criminal mischief. 2 juveniles were arrested for armed rioting and criminal mischief. So far, police have arrested 17 people from Saturday night's riot. And if you have more tips on who might have been involved, you can use these numbers to get a hold of police. Text a tip to 701-730-8888 or call their tip line at 701-241-5777. A peaceful demonstration for George Floyd has been organized in the Grand Forks area. The march's organizer did not respond to our inquiries, but posts on the event's Facebook page say it's going to be as non-disruptive as possible, which police say is okay with them. The protest is set to kick off tomorrow at noon, with marchers starting at the parking garage on 1st Avenue and North 4th Street, and continuing through the city's downtown and advocating to change police brutality and systemic racism. The police chief of Wahpeton says his statement of possibly pressing charges for certain social media posts was to discourage people from rioting. Yesterday, the city put out a press release quoting the chief as saying people could face charges for sharing certain posts online. This was in regard to a rumor on Snapchat that there would be a riot in Wahpeton on Friday. Chief Scott Thorstensen says that he was only citing a century code against inciting riots. If you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, here's some advice. Call that number on your screen. It's our whistleblower hotline, 701-237-6576. Leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. Moorhead police are still looking for this man. He's 26-year-old Warren Misovich from Fargo. After they say that he tried to stop them several times during a pursuit yesterday afternoon. Video we've been showing you that was given to Valley News Live shows officers trying to stop the truck that he was said to be driving. He kept going, and eventually officers ended their pursuit. Police say Misovich is facing a variety of charges, so if you know his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the Red River Dispatch Center. 2 airmen killed earlier this week at the Grand Forks Air Force Base were identified today. One of them is 21-year-old Natasha Aposhin. She's from Arizona. Her family tells us that she was a victim of domestic violence. The Air Force Base wouldn't comment on details of its death investigation. The other airman who died was 20-year-old Julian Torres of Texas. That shooting took place inside one of the dorms on base. All 21 airmen living in that dorm were moved elsewhere. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum had some choice words in describing the rioters in Fargo from over the weekend. The governor says what's happened in Fargo feels more like organized crime rather than voicing opinions under freedom of speech. Burgum says he's trying to broaden the dialogue among various parties, but added all those rioters may want to practice some social distance.
If you're a young person that is going to put yourself in a crowd of people like that, I think you have to be aware of whether you might then choose to socially distance from your loved ones who are vulnerable, or wear the precautions of wearing a mask when you're there, or choosing to have your voice heard some other.
Meanwhile, Indian Affairs Commissioner Scott Davis said today that the 3 affiliated tribes in central North Dakota are seeking more testing for COVID-19. Data is shaping how tribal lands reopen, and as the state expands its testing capabilities, so do the tribes.
It's an amazing thing to see, and you know, people just line up from the districts within our reservations, and once we get going, it's a pretty I'll have to say it's a smooth running oil machine, and that just shows the commitment and the partnership.
The tribes hope to establish regular sampling, and Standing Rock, which is south of Mandan, will focus their efforts on more than 400 casino workers. They've had success doing COVID testing within walking distance of residents rather than drive-up testing. Local businesses have been through a lot lately. After getting the green light to bring customers back inside, several bars and restaurants are now having to close their doors yet again because of COVID. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie explains.
1 second, sorry. Hey, we're closed right now. Yeah. So we had an individual, that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, we had an individual come in contact with somebody who tested positive. So we're just going to be shut down for a couple of days.
Turning customers away is never fun.
We've been open for off sale and delivery, but now, we're not even doing that. And it stinks.
Aaron Hill is one of the owners at Fargo Brewing Company. With an employee coming into contact with someone who has COVID, they're taking no chances.
We decided to close is just for the safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. That was more important than keeping the doors open.
Other businesses in town, like the Turf and the Southtown Poorhouse, making similar decisions, closing their doors because of COVID. Hill says it's not an easy choice, but it's the right one.
It's not very fun right now. It's been really, really tough. It's been tough on us.
Hill says they're encouraging all employees to get tested. They'll decide what's next after they get those results. Fargo Brewing and the others hoping employees and customers will have no doubt they'll put your safety first. In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
In the meantime, Hill says you can support Fargo Brewing by buying cans at local liquor stores and restaurants. State health officials are confirming 33 more cases of COVID-19 in North Dakota, and another death has been linked to the illness. The patient who died was a man in his 70s from Cass County with underlying health issues. There have been 66 total deaths linked to COVID-19 in North Dakota. There are currently 444 active cases in the state. 2,169 people are listed as being recovered. Meanwhile, Minnesota is reporting another 14 deaths from the virus, bringing the death toll to 1,086. Of those deaths, 876 happened in a long-term care facility. 372 new coronavirus cases are being reported, bringing the active case count to 3,615. 21,169 people have recovered. Starting June 15th, West Fargo Sports Arena will start reopening in 3 phases based on recommendations from the North Dakota Department of Health. First of all, on June 15th, the facility will start opening to private rentals Monday through Friday. Reservations are required and can be made over the phone. And during this phase, 1 sheet of ice will be available to guests for use in fitness, technique, and development drills only. Guests should no earlier than 10 minutes before their reservation and arrive dressed to skate. Now, locker rooms, restrooms, and drinking fountains are not available for use. Phases 2 and 3 will be announced at a later date. Here's a heads up for you drivers who use 17th Avenue South in Fargo. Crews have now closed 17th to eastbound traffic between 34th and 32nd Street South. You can get around by taking the detour on 16th Avenue South. Crews are making some emergency storm sewer repairs in that location. The road should fully reopen by the end of the day on Friday.